company did about $30 million in revenue in 18 months.
How are those Airbnbs going? You know, the market has shifted.
So Airbnbs I bought 5 in Baton Rouge. They weren't Airbnbs when I bought them. I bought them as long-term.
Can you describe some of that stuff that you're doing to kind of do the conversion?
The deal's been in my box for like 3 months now.
What are rooms renting in for en-suites, as we call it, bedroom and bathroom included?
Capital partners and more properties. That's like the main drive right now is what I'm doing. Like,
welcome everyone to the Investor Deli podcast, where we cut through all the noise and deliver actionable insight to you and make the information the star. I'm your host, Manifesting Mando. Make sure to please hit that like and subscribe button. If you think you're extraordinary, if you love yourself, you love where you're going, make sure you smash that button. And also check out my merch store, investordeli.store. As you see, I got some merch on now, so please support the store as well. And I'm on stage here. Let's welcome to the main stage, Aaron Lambert. What's up?
Oh my guy.
What's up, my brother? What's going on?
I'm in the Investor Deli.
Appreciate you hopping on. You know what I'm saying? Like, we made some connections and we connected a dot. This dot led to that one, and kind of we're here now. Appreciate you, Aaron, for showing up and showing out. And let's get into it. Let's tell us a little bit about yourself. What's going on in the real estate journey, and give us a backstory of kind of who you are.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, my name's Aaron Lambert. I'm a real estate investor. I currently live in Las Vegas right now, from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Call it that dirty South.
Dirty.
And I moved out. I think. Quick little backstory about me. I lived in California for about 15 years. Used to be a pipe fitter, fabricator. Went on a little vacation for a while. 2016, got married in 15. 16 went on vacation, and 20 came out here to Las Vegas, where my wife was and currently is. And now I'm a real estate investor. Started a company in early 2020, whenever the pandemic happened. That was a medical supply company where we were selling like gloves and masks and test kits. And got a distributorship with test kit company in it. Long story short, company did about $30 million in revenue in 18 months. And after that died down, and I took what I call my winnings and started buying real estate.
That's incredible. What a lick. What a come up to be able to that was kind of a super need at that time. You was that guy. You was like that guy in the gold rush with the shovels.
Yeah. You're right. It came at like crazy perfect time. So my vacation was actually a little stint in the pen. And, in there, all I did was get closer to God. And I learned a lot about real estate. Like you see all these books right here. That's just a smidgen of the books that I read in there, all pertaining to like anything business and real estate. It all started with Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And then Rich Dad, Poor Dad, in the back of his books, he's got like you should read this upcoming book or read this book. So I started reading those. And then in the back of those, it like has all of his like advisors and people that, write books under him, like Tom Wheelwright and some other guys. So I just started Mom, send me all these books. Look, I read anything and everything I could get my hands on and got out. Pandemic happened. So I couldn't do what I normally was good at. I literally had $400 in my pocket. And then thank the Lord, my wife stayed with me, but started that business, hit a nice lick. Like 6 months in, I made like 64,000, and then did a bunch of little small deals. And then we got our distributorship like at the end of 20, and then in 21 and the first part of 22 we was just crushing.
Cranking.
Yeah. It was crazy, dude. I was flying out to New York probably every other week. I was in New Jersey. I was all over the country because we had big players. I was selling to government agencies. I was selling to McDonald's. I was selling to like hospitals, schools, all kinds of stuff. You name it. I was selling it to them.
Wow, that's incredible. What an incredible story, and kind of what Penn University did for you, right? Because that can be a trap, right? And it's a situation where unfortunately you're in, right? But you harnessed your energy and said, no, this is kind of what I want to do. And you were graced by the Lord, let's say, that, hey, you kind of had a vision to, follow up on this real estate journey, like literally picking yourself up from the bootstraps and acquiring this knowledge that you were able then to transform, right? Once you were out to, hey, I think I have a skill set somewhat, let's say, right? A
Yeah.
knowledge base that I can grow from. And I have some funds that now I can move forward and take that chance in this space and trusting the knowledge that you kind of figured out, right, as well, right?
Yeah, absolutely. One thing that they said in there, which is super cliche, and I really, uh, I understood what they were talking about when they would say it, but you'd have guys in there, they're doing life, but they have hope, right? And they're like, the bigger the setback, the bigger the comeback.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then when I got out, that's what happened. I had a huge comeback, and I'm like, all right, this is what's up. But when I started buying real estate, I started buying it traditionally because I didn't know my newfound God pays more me. Just kidding, but I
For
didn't
sure.
I didn't know anything about creative finance. If I would have, I think I would have probably bought double what I did. But what I did buy is still doing really good. We turn them into Airbnbs, like they provide for my family. They do really well, and we're just right now. I'm just continuing to grow that, right? Just grow the portfolio. I started a wholesale company in 22, and wholesale is like this, at least for us, right? We have never really been super set up. Started fix and flipping a little bit. Got quite a few fix and flips going on this year. Like 6, I think we already got, and then bought a couple pieces of property over the past couple of years. But this year, I'm really like laser focused on purchasing property for co-living. And, I'm doing that with partners. I have more private money partners, PMLs. A lot of people, just kind of over the past couple of months started coming to me and they see, what I'm doing and they want to kind of join the bandwagon, get on and get aboard and start making some money.
Yeah, I love it that you've kind of touched all facets of the game, short-term rentals and to some fix and flips, wholesaling, right? Like you said, you kind of got in the space traditionally. That's kind of how I got in myself. Like my purchases were all traditional until until I got into this community. I was like, oh, what is this, right? Like this is all new to me. Like, money landing and all this. It was just a whole different experience. I was like, wow, this is crazy. I'm glad I'm here, right? But how those Airbnbs going? The market has shifted. How are those undergoing?
So Airbnbs I bought 5 in Baton Rouge. They weren't Airbnbs when I bought them. I bought them as long term, and I bought one condo that I was like, okay, I'm going to turn this into a Airbnb, and ended up having to turn it into a midterm, which I still have it on Airbnb, but it's a midterm rental, and that's great. Man, we're probably renting out 90% of the year. My other units, they're all townhomes, they're all connected. I turn those into Airbnbs, and they do great. I would say from start to finish, from when we started to now, I would say our average is no less than 75% occupancy on our Airbnb. So, and some years we're at like 85. So those do really well.
So they're pretty much stabilized then.
Oh yeah, it didn't take long. Honestly, as soon as I converted it from long term to a short term and posted it on Airbnb, like we were getting bookings like the next day. So yeah, I give all thanks to the Lord for that one. But and then I have a property in Houston now, and that thing does not do great. And it seems like, yeah, so I'm in the process of turning that one into a co-living. So I'm working with a lady in the community, and she does co-living, but co-living with like the agencies, like, veterans or old people or, sober living, like women's, all this other different stuff, right?
Yeah,
Not
so they're attached to like programs and stuff, right?
Yeah, something other than pad split for co-living, right?
Awesome.
And you know what? If I had to do it all over again, I just got off a call telling a guy this because he was trying to figure out where he's going with his investment journey. He's an old friend of mine. And I told him, I said, dude, if I had to do this all over again, I would have 100% started with co-living, because the amount of returns that you get on these co-living properties is crazy, and it's less headache, right? Less turnover, less headache. You got pad split backing you if there's anything like crazy going on, right? They're over there. You have their platform to work off of. And yes, you do pay pad split a decent amount of money, but if your numbers are right, then it works.
For sure. Let's dive in right into this space since we're in it. It's kind of where the market is going. And it's for a lot of reasons, especially affordability and attainability, right? People just can't survive, buying a home with these interest rates or getting a decent apartment, in a decent neighborhood. And a lot of people are more transient, not getting as married as much, right? So this all these metrics is kind of pushing people into these spaces. And if you work, like for me, I like, because I'm in the co-living space as well, I like to focus on the workforce people, like 30 to $60,000 per profile of people. And a lot of these people, they're working in stadiums, in super centers, in hospitals, hotels, airports, and they don't want to travel 2 hours away where there's no work, right? They have to work in the metros, and unfortunately, some people they can't afford to live in the metros, right? Let's say, and so that's kind of for me why this model is super efficient and it works. What they say, multifamily returns in single family homes, right?
Love that. Love
right.
it.
And it's so dope, right? And if you can provide a home, right, where people can come and call home, right, not only just a place to crash. And I think it just helps in retention and to build it out. Kind of tell us your philosophies and kind of what you're doing and what do you think about the space.
So yeah, the space, and just to touch on a few things that you said, is the affordability, and then being in the metro area where all of the kind of work is for those folks that the generation we live in now is not, definitely not like the generation that I grew up in. Like, get the freak out, go get a job and start doing something, right? And go, be good for yourself. Right now, it's kind of like people are living with mom and pops until they're older, and they just don't have that work ethic, right? So you have that factor, and then you have just the affordability of everything. Just what you said. Like, if I was to go get an apartment right now, even if I was to get an apartment that's only $1,500 a month here in Vegas, right?
Yep.
I'm going to have to come in with minimum $3,000 just for a deposit. Then I have to furnish the place, and then I have to pay utilities. And it's like all that, comes, that's a lot if you don't have, right? If you don't have, that's a lot that they have to come up with off the rip. And then you get, and that's where you get people that are not paying rent, right? Or they defaulted on their utility bills, so on and so forth. And you have, tenants or landlords that are defaulting because their tenants aren't paying, whatever the case may be. But, that's why Pad Split has a great product, just co-living in itself. If, thinking on that side of things, like the Pad Split model is, it's a very, very big need. And, what they've put together, I think is great because, not only are they providing a place for somebody to go shop for this, but they're also, for us and for the other tenants that are in the building, they're doing their homework on the tenant, right? They're scanning them for whether they're violent or offender of some sort, checking to see if they can afford the property, background checks and all this stuff. So that's all a plus to me too. So, yeah, I mean, those are my main points on why co-living is such a great opportunity for us and for the people that need it.
Yeah,
it's like a double whammy, right? We're getting what we want as investors. They're getting what they need, which is affordable housing. Where are you going to go to rent a room between $180 and $300 a week, where you don't have to buy furniture, you don't have to put a deposit, you don't have to pay utilities, like a crappy motel, maybe.
yeah.
You know what I mean? But highly unlikely.
No, for sure. And if you're using Pad Split, you just leverage their data as well. If you're in the platform and you're in the hunt for properties as you are, you can kind of then foresee what places that are hotbeds that you want to be in. Let's say Pad Split core markets. That's kind of what I do. I just leverage the data inside the platform when I start scouting for locations, I'm like, I know exactly where I need to be at. And then you can communicate as well with the reps, right? And the reps are going to tell you, if you're a long distance investor, right, and you source some properties out of state, and you can just have these conversations with the reps to leverage their knowledge, their boots on the ground, right? So there's many factors why this model works, and how you can leverage the data and information inside the platform to be able for you to scale as well. And like you said, they vet the member, they do all that background checks and all that pertains to their history. And then you can do that as well if you want to you want to cross-reference that what they did. Just some people have preferences and they do that. And you obviously have to have some margins. If you're a long distance investor, you want to have a property manager as well in place. So I just love the model, and it's kind of the way of life now. It's not even a trend. It's kind of the way of life. And government is not taking care of these situations and these matters. So it's like I always say, it's we the people we the investor that is able to kind of merge with a platform such as PassSplit to be able to solve a lot of these issues.
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing about you talking about doing like remote or buying in states and cities that you don't live in. The deal that I have right now that I'm currently doing a capital raise on in Lakeland, Florida. The property was presented to me. I reached out to the rep out there and I talked to her about Lakeland. She said, Lakeland's actually coming up. Like, we got quite a few properties out there. They're all really good. The occupancy is really good, getting really good feedback. So I started doing a little more due diligence, and I noticed that I would say 90 to 95% of the properties out there don't offer a 1-to-1, right? They're all like 7.2, 8.3, 6.3, which is pretty standard in the space, right? But I started paying attention to Jamil, not on the first squad up we went to last year in Orlando.
Yep.
I saw his little pitch, and I noticed that his layouts were all 1-to-1.
Yep.
I'm like, this is freaking amazing. Like, yeah, yes, it costs more, right? But the probability and the likelihood of you filling it and keeping it filled with higher paying tenants is way up there, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, I love that. And let me tell you, I went to we just came from a squad up in Dallas. So I got there a couple days early because we went to visit a ground up co-living property. It was 14 bedrooms and 14 baths. It was a 2-floor. And I just loved the model. It was a ground up, so you can control the build itself and the room sizes and how you want to build it out. Obviously, you're controlling the build. And I love the model just kind of for the factors you said, the retainability, right? If you provide a bathroom for someone, a private bathroom in their room, it's now a home, right? It's now their personal space that they don't have to share. They're coming to, they're coming out of work. They already have all these stressors of this, the factors of how they're living. And now you come into a house and, it's the situation you're at. You have 5 bedrooms, 8 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. You have to maybe wait your turn. It still might not be as convenient as what you want, but it's what you have. But if you have a way to control a situation where everyone has their own individual bathrooms, I think it's a game changer. I love that model. It's tough. Like I said, I saw this unit. It was a great unit. It had enough ample parking. It was a kind of a corner lot, so they encased the parking so you really can't see inside. And They had parkings on both sides, and it was a great unit. The cabinets are super big. They went like to the ceiling, right? They extended them, make little things like that. Sometimes you don't pay attention to. So they had huge ass cabinets that went, like I said, all the way up to the top, individually marked. Everyone had a doorbell. Everything was automated. The cameras in the common spaces. Laundry units in both floors. And again, I love that model just because those factors that someone can come in and they can just crash out and have their own privacy. And I think it just helps in retention as well. You want to keep the tenant, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is kind of the main reason you're in the business. You want to be able to service people, right? What do you think of that?
Man, that's crazy you even say that, because that property in Lakeland, Florida, I'm turning it into 11 bed, 11 bath. It's a 2-story.
Sweet.
It's got 2 kitchens. We're doing it will have 2 laundry rooms. Right now it's a duplex, but it has like a shared kind of laundry room space.
Okay.
But we're doing a laundry room upstairs and 4 baths, 4 bed upstairs. It's currently got 3 beds, 1 bath, but they got 3 huge rooms, and then one room is smaller, but it butts up to a hallway that's doing nothing. It's just a hallway that just goes to a wall that has a window. So we're going to turn that into, so you're going to have 4 bedrooms and 4 baths upstairs. Each room outside of one will have their own bathroom inside of their room.
Okay.
The other one just kind of go down the hall. And then we'll have a laundry room up there. And those guys will have access to one of the kitchens. And then they'll have, so each duplex, one's going to have 6 rooms, one's going to have 5. And they have 3 total entrances to the property. They have 2 units have their own private entrance, and the other ones are kind of general. So yeah, I'm super excited about that one. It's a freaking cash cow, my friend. It's like we're bringing in conservatively. My numbers are super conservative, and we're like just shy of 13,000 a month. And I think net in your pocket cash flow is like $4,000.
Sweet. That's what I call a grand slammy. You know what I'm saying?
Like, grand slammy. Yeah. And we're doing fractional, so we're offering 50% of the equity and 50% of the cash flow to investors like yourself or anybody out there that has a minimum of $5,000 to bring in. They are going to be co-owners with me on an 11-bedroom co-living facility in Lakeland, Florida.
That's super dope. Fractional, as you mentioned, it's a platform where you can come in and put in an investment with it's a community investment site, like sort of like a crowdfunding, where you can just buy a slice of the pie and you get to go on the journey and experience the returns on that, right? All the depreciations, tax benefits, and all that. If you're just a super passive investor and just want to put your money into something, these are the type of deals that you want to get into. You have a 401k, you have money sitting on the side that you got parked in a bank account that's not doing nothing, right? It's over there crying, not making you no money. This is a deal that you want to get in with Aaron and say, hey, you know what I'm saying? Look at my money. My money is up and growing, right? Yeah. My money's working for me as I sleep. So that's the type of investments that you look for. So we'll put his fractional link on the show notes so you can kind of go to see what he's doing on his page. And again, maybe provide opportunities for you to get down with that investment, because that sounds like a winner. 11-11, come on, man.
Yeah, 11-11. And the numbers are good. It's a seller finance deal, right? Creative deal. The interest rate on seller finance is not great, but I don't really care because I would prefer it lower, but it still makes complete sense. Like the numbers are just there. I'm like, one guy was like, well, what if you don't raise all? I was like, it doesn't matter if I raise all the money or not, I'm taking the thing down. It's like, it just makes too much sense. Like I might have to get PML to complete the project and to get the thing cash flowing before I do a full raise on it. That's okay.
Yeah, just you have so much spread on it. It's such a big, massive play that you can kind of finagle the numbers somewhat to get into it, right? Yep. The point of it is to get into the deal and stabilize it and make it go. So obviously you got to do some construction as well, right? You got to build up these units. I'm sure that's all written down, on the underwriting. And can you describe some of that stuff that you're doing to kind of do the conversion?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're doing a raise for about for a total of $200,000. That consists of the acquisition, which is roughly 55-60 with closing costs, and then we have about 120 to do for the renovations and furnishings. And then the other 20 is for reserves.
That's sweet. So, and a lot of these properties, you got to also be mindful, you got to take into account parking. So how's the parking and where's your location? Where's it? The house is a corner house, in the middle of the block. Kind of describe the
setup. This property is great. It's corner lot.
Awesome.
At the end of each street, which is on one side, you have one house to pass before you get to the end. It's a huge cul-de-sac with no properties around, like a big field.
Awesome.
And then on the other one, it's the same thing. There's no houses on the road past ours because it just dead ends right there with a huge cul-de-sac and just a field.
That's a win again, right?
You got and then the yard itself, because it's a corner lot, you got driveways on both sides. You got plenty of like little parkings, and the neighborhood is not like it's not like B class, but it's a C class neighborhood. It's not like super bad run down, but it's not one of those ones that you got, HOA people and it's weirdos like
and looking out the window. Who are these people, right?
It's spread out too, so it's not even like it's not a congested neighborhood at all. We're like, I think it's like 3-minute walk to the first bus stop. You're a 3-minute drive to this huge park right there. You're like a 10-minute drive to downtown. You got the international airport right around the corner. It's prime location, man.
You got Orlando on one side and you got Tampa on
the other. Yep.
And the I-4 corridor. That's a dope play you got going on, Aaron. Man,
Yeah.
How did you source this one? Man,
you wouldn't believe it. Well, you might believe it. I wholesaled a wholesale deal. The guy wholesaled. I got property under contract, and then I wholesaled it to my buyer, and in Miami. And then I just kind of started working with this guy, and he started sending me all these deals. And I think we wholesaled 2 properties from him to my buyer. And then he sent me this. I told him, like, hey, man, we're trying to look for some like co-living opportunities, like maybe duplexes, triplexes, anything that we could like put multiple rooms, like add more rooms to. So he started sending me this and sent me this deal. And at first I was going to wholesale it to some other guys, and they weren't really down with the seller. Is like, he wanted us to fill out this application, literally he took a bank application, removed the bank name, and just gave it to me and said, here, Phil. I wanted all this information. I told the agent, I said, I'm not giving him all this information. He's like, look, just fill it out to the best of your ability as much as you want. And so it's like halfway filled out. And the guy, he was like, okay, cool. So he took it, right? He just wanted to see if I'd fill it out, right? See if we were credible, I guess. I don't know. Yeah. I use my wife's information. But so we did all that, and then like they didn't want to do it. The other people, they didn't want to fill it out. They were going to turn it into a 15-bed, 5-bath, which at first I was going to do. And then I started looking at doing a little more deeper dive in the area and noticed that 15 people in a house with 5, there's too many hairs on the toilet. It's like, let's go. If we could do 11-11, we're actually going to make more money and we're going to be more desired to rent. Yeah. So anyways, long story short, the deal's been in my box for like 3 months now.
Wow.
And now finally, so we had it, my boy had it under contract, fell out. They took it off the market, and I like waited around a couple weeks, and then I called the agent back. I'm like, hey, bro, what's going on with this deal? He's like, well, he still wants to sell it, but it's not on the market anymore. So we got on a call, and now we're here. I closed on it on the 30th.
That's dope. That's how it usually works. You know what I'm saying? These deals, they're sleepers, right? They just linger around, and all of a sudden one day, I was on a call with one of my buddies yesterday. He got a deal that he was like, yo, I'm putting this offer in. When I was talking to him, he said, yeah. I said, how do you get it? He said, I got this deal in my mailbox in December, and it just came back around. So it's in Dallas. So he's taking it down himself. So congrats to him. But yeah, it's kind of how these work. And what are the metrics? What are rooms renting in for en suites, as we call it, bedroom and bathroom included?
Well, real quick before I go into that, I do want to add that the wholesaler that brought me the deal, even though it all fell apart, is still getting paid.
Oh,
I'm still honoring, because he brought it to me, even though I kicked it around for a while. Still, I wouldn't know about it if he didn't bring it to me.
That's for sure. That's absolutely.
Well, if you're a wholesaler out there, you send me your co-living deals.
Exactly. And you see how you're going to perform. He's going to take care of you. So for sure, always look out.
Yeah, I'm not going around you, dude. We might have to do the roundabout just to get the deal done, but you're still going to get paid.
Yeah, your pocket's going to be wet. Don't worry about that.
Yeah.
But so how the rooms are projecting on the rentals?
Okay, so on pad split data, you're at like a 272 for your a private bathroom. But like I said, I'm looking and there ain't nothing out there. And so what we're gonna do, so I did my numbers on 272, and what we're gonna do is our lower rooms are gonna be around like maybe even lower than that, like 265. We got like 2 that are really going to be really small, but we have like our upstairs rooms. They're the biggest. They're going to be like 300. And then we're going to kind of like stage down from there. So you're gonna have like some 285s, maybe some 270s, and some 265s. So our average is gonna probably be around 280-ish.
Okay.
So it's not crazy high, but we're gonna try to push the envelope with the $300 rooms, get those sold. Might just see and just put them all at, like 300, 295, 290, just to see.
See how
it will drop accordingly if it's not moving, right?
Sure, absolutely. Yeah. Once you hit that right sweet spot, they'll start to move for sure. Right?
And then just case in point, my guy out here, he still thanks me every time I see him for this property. We had a property that it was a sweetheart deal. I was trying to raise capital and I couldn't get anybody. Nobody knew me at that time. And it was a sub 2 deal. It had probably about $90,000 in equity, even after you came in and did whatever. And huge property, no HOA, 5% interest on the loan, or no, maybe it was like 4%, and just straight takeover sub 2. It was a pretty high entry. I think it was around like 80 or something, maybe 60 to 80. I can't remember. But my guys came in. I think they converted 2 rooms. So they have a total of like 8 rooms, but it's a huge house. Man, and they rented the rooms out for so the average out here in Vegas is like 200. They rented them out 220, 215, 230. They went, and the people, they full all the time. No problems. I guess it's the area too, but sure. It's kind of centrally located. So, and it's a nice private. You got a huge backyard, really, so that people can hang out and stuff. But they pushed the envelope and they got all of them full. And now every time I see them, they're like, "Thank you, Aaron. Hey, thank you so much. Thank you so much." Every time the fifth of the month comes around, I just thank Aaron so much for wholesaling this deal too.
Sure, yeah, good looking out. You know what I'm saying? Send me a little slice. Don't forget.
Oh man, dude, I only made $5,000 on the deal too. I'm like,
hey, yours is coming. But yeah, you're focusing only on Florida markets, or kind of what are you looking at?
So current up until probably about like literally 3 days ago, I made a decision. I had focused on Texas and Florida. But it's like Texas and Florida. You got taxes in Texas and you got insurance in Florida. It's like, even though the Lakeland property is on high ground, so the insurance ain't too crazy.
Yep.
But learning from Michael, it's like, why am I not going into these other metros that are doing great with pad split? I mean, they got plenty of it opens up the possibilities and the opportunities for me. So, as of 3 days ago, I'm now, searching for other metros. I haven't pinpointed exactly what metros I want to start with. I was thinking about like the Georgia market, Atlanta, and I heard really well. Dallas, I like Dallas, but like I said, Texas taxes. So I'm just kind of like exploring what other markets, but I'm open to the metro, the main core markets, as pad split would call it.
Yeah. And shout out to Michael Manatsikanian. He's a super investor. He has a community on School. If you guys want to join, he kind of takes you through the steps, strictly buy and hold investing. So shout out to Michael and his super investor community.
Literally got a S on his chest.
For real. And he's super dope. He has super incredible resources. He has the best calculator in the game. Once you get in that sucker, boy, ain't nothing like it. I send screenshots to my wholesalers and stuff, and I've had plenty of them hit me back. Yo, what's that calculator? Where you get that? Let me get that. And I'll be like, yo, I can't. This is my thing. I can't share it.
500, man.
pay that. You gotta pay what you weigh. But trust me, I be getting the feedback, because I like to send wholesalers, whoever I'm communicating. I like to send them stuff that that they can have a look at. You know what I'm saying? So, and then like I said, when they take a look at it, hey, dude, what is this? But but for sure, shout out to Michael and his community. So what is it that you're looking for? What is it you're needing as you expand your business? How can people help you? How can people reach out to you?
Yeah. So one thing that I'm looking for is more properties to underwrite co-living. And 2 would be capital partners, because I can't scale without them, right? I don't have a big, huge pocket of money. And then, as Pace says, don't use your own money. So, even though I do, but more capital partner, more people that want to be passive, and I'm, one thing I was telling some folks that I was talking to the other day that want to come on to the Lakeland property, they're like, are we going to be able to learn, like from this? Like, are you going to be teaching stuff? I'm like, 100%. Like, I want you to want to learn, because I want to show you what we're doing. We're going to have weekly Zooms to be walking through, like whenever I'm doing the construction, I'm going to be there, like video, live time, whatever. Just, yes. So I want to be able to teach people what we're doing, just because more people get informed, the more they want to do it. And the more opportunities they can look out for and join and whatnot. So capital partners and more properties. That's like the main drive right now, is what I'm doing. Like, I'm laser focused on those two things for co-living. And like I said earlier on, like if I had to do it all over again, I would have focused solely on co-living. And I'm just really, really excited. I'm forming some, I think, strategic partnerships with people in the co-living space. Really shout out to Michael Natskanian for all the knowledge that he shares, right? And again, like, if it wasn't for his calculator, it would take me double what it takes me to underwrite deals. Like, that thing is like, I remember when I was underwriting deals, like previous his calculator, like the pen and paper, like like trying to build my own. I'm like, oh God, I'm good at underwriting, but I can't build a spreadsheet.
Man, if I tell you, like, me and Aaron sharing this moment, because we both know what it is, right? It's so robust. It's a monster, right?
Yeah.
And, it just gives it just punches out all the details. They got a section where you can share with your PMP that literally they see their cut and what they're earning as well. It's like an easy button. You can just send that to as many people as you want. So yeah, that's super dope. Aaron, where can people reach you? What's your social media handles, and where people could reach you and get to know you and see what you're doing?
Yeah, so Instagram it's my name, Aaron Lambert. Instagram is Aaron Lambert _. My YouTube is Aaron Lambert. My Facebook is Aaron Lambert. So everything is my name, Aaron Lambert. Outside of Facebook's Aaron Lambert _. And yeah, and we'll have some links in the description below, so you can find me and reach out. And yeah, man, I appreciate your time, bro. It's been definitely nice talking with you. I remember when you're in Orange Club, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we met in
with Dana. It's me, you, and Dana.
Yeah, Dana. Yeah, Dana's cool. That dude's real cool. He's from LA.
In the Mickey Mansion downstairs.
Yeah, the Mickey Mansion. Yep, that was fun.
That was fun. That was
yeah.
super great. That's where we that's where we all hooked up. Let's say that's where I kind of met Dana as well. No lie.
Yeah, you doing any deals with him?
We're working on something. And we're still kind of developing it. But that's my guy. That's my brother.
Yeah, he's cool. He's real cool.
Yeah, he's doing great things in his space. Shout out to Dana. He's out there in Los Angeles making stuff shake. But yeah, Aaron, I appreciate you coming on. I look forward to seeing your journey as well. And when you got other stuff locked in, you can always come back and holler at me, be like, yo, I got something for you. But I appreciate you coming on. And like I said, I'll post all your links as well as your fractional links, so people can go visit your page as well. So until the next time, Aaron.
Thank you, my man. I appreciate you, brother.
All right, peace.